Hey everybody! One of most important aspects in software engineering is we want to reduce the coupling and increase the cohesion. Reduce the coupling means we reduce the relation or number of relation between one class and another. So when we modify a specific part, there is not too many components affected by our modification. Also, we want to increase the cohesion. That means we increase the relation between the object of same class. So it will be when we modify one part, we could reduce the time for modification. And that's the goal for any software, to make it easy to modify. One work that Java 8 did for us, they try to reduce the inheritance layer. They say, okay, if I have interface and I have a specific method and that method have different implementation, that's okay. If I have another method but it have same implementation with all the classes who implement this interface, well, I have to write the code in different classes. It's better for me to use default. So there is another keyword they used in Java 8 named default. Make the interface or make the method in the interface to be implemented directly inside interface. Also a static method, same thing. So let we do what we talk about. I know it to be a little bit confusing for you. So let me suppose I create a new interface and I will name it operations. Okay. I hope I did not have this class before. That's great. Let me suppose I have a specific method return an integer of value for me, doing some operation between integer x and integer y. This is just for interface summation method. So if I want to implement this operation, I will get a new class. You know about that. You say, okay, this class, name it op implement one, first implement for op. So it should be class, normal class, that we suppose it should be implement in this way. The class, name it operation. Okay, I just implemented this one. If you see, hey, you have error, okay, I know you need me to implement specific method is this one for summation. So it should return value, it should return, let me suppose I will say this one return n1 plus n2, which is great, and or not n1 x plus y. So yes, this is just doing summation. So imagine I have another interface. So I say, okay, or another class, and this class, name it op implementation 2, and this one also doing implement to same interface, name it operation. Okay, and there we go. But this one is doing sum, but doing between x and y and plus 10. So I have different implementation for this method for the sum operation for the same one. So I'm doing different operation. So for that reason, I added in the interface, because I need to do different implementation. Imagine I have another method, and this method have same implementation in both of the classes. So imagine I want to display the value for x. So let me suppose I have integer get x. Okay, this is just simple method. I want to display this value. I will say void display. Okay, I'm sure I have some implementation for this method, so it's not necessary for me to do implementation for all the classes. So I will say, okay, so so in this way, hopefully void so. So he say, okay, there is error, you need to add another word here. I say default. So what I mean by default, when I add default before any name method inside the interface, that means, hey, this method will be implemented inside the interface. We know we cannot implement method inside the interface. If you see here and see here, we implement it inside the classes. But if you add keyword, name it default before the name of the method, that means you could implement it. So let me say, okay, I have here this one, I will display getX, okay, inside it. That means any class who inherits this method, it will be already implemented. So let me implement this method. So okay, I will say, okay, you say, hey, you need to override same method. I know, I need to override method named getX. Let me suppose I will return x, and let me suppose here I have integer x equal 10, and I have integer y equal equal 15. So yes, this is returning x. This method will return x for me. And there we go, same thing for this method. Also I say, hey, you have error. I know I have error, so just add them. I will return an x. So the question is here, I have this class, and this class are implementing this two method, but the third method I don't need to implement it because it's already implemented here. So I save this time for this class and this class because they are sharing same data, because they're doing same work. Here I did implement here because this did implement totally different from this one. Okay, totally different. Also you say, okay, you said totally different, but both of them are returning get x are same. This one returning get x, this one returning x. Why I have to implement it? You are right, so you don't need to implement it here. It's better to get x also do it in this way. You say return x, and you say, okay, this one will be default. Okay, default, the scalar. That's me returning x. But you cannot use x here because x here is not identified. For that reason, I just get a get call method. So for that reason, this one will not work because you cannot define variables here in the interface. So yes, you say, okay, I'm implement this method and I go implement it inside that places. Now, anyone want to use operation. So operation is implemented by this one. So if you say, I have public, okay, static main, this is for the main method. I now have string and have rx. Okay, this method, hopefully it will work according to what I plan to. Public static void main, this method. So if I want to call the method, name it this interface display, I have to be able to call it here because I'm already implemented that method. I have to be able. What's the problem here? You say, hey, you have problem. They changed the static. You say, okay, this method is not static. You cannot call it from static method. You know this is static. So yes, you cannot just call it directory. If you want to call it, you have to say, okay, I want to get a new from this one dot the method name, so I could call it. So yes, if you see, here you go 10. So if I do something here, operation dot, I could get x. I could say get x, have to give me same value. What? Get x. Here we go then. Why x did not return anything for me? Because x did not print anything. I have to print it. SYSO. I have to print x value on the screen in this way. Just want to share with you what I'm doing and make sure this one will be just something different. Say x, so people could see what I'm doing. Yes, here you go. Now if I print it, you say, okay, see, this is coming from this implementation and this coming from interface implementation. If you go here and do same code for this operation too and try to run the code, I think you will see same result because both of them have x same value. Here you go. So the idea behind what I'm saying is that I'm saying, hey, you could implement specific method if it's shared between the classes. So you will reduce the inheritance layer. Not only this one, you could define another method as a type of a static. You know what the static mean? Display y. So I would say get y. You could say get y, or you could keep it. You could display hello from static. Okay, just to show you what I'm saying. When you define method as static inside the interface, you mean that if this method if this interface implemented by too many classes, so it implemented here, all of them, they are shared same method. They are shared same static method. It is totally different from default. Default mean everyone have a specific method, but when you say static, all they share, all the classes who inherited or who implemented this interface, they are shared same class. So you could define that static, which is amazing. So which is could access to it by two way. We could access to that method directory by say operation dot the name of display y directory, and we could see hello from static. What I want to share with you in this video. So thank you for watching, and see you next.